Happy Sabbath, Israel. Greetings. I hope that everyone is fine. Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to share with you Happy Sabbath. It's just good. I haven't came on like this in a while to have the opportunity to say Happy Sabbath. So I just want to say Happy Sabbath to you. It's a wonderful day here. I think I'm back. I think I am back on again live. I think I'm back on again live. Absolutely. I hope I'm connected back. It was buffering. I don't know what happened. Just checking back in to see if you all are still there. I'm just going to wait a few minutes to see who chimes in. I'm going to cut this off and try again. Okay, we are here. Okay, so I'm not going to cut it off. Okay, happy Sabbath. I see Tobiah Vickers. I see the Reynolds. I don't know what happened with that connection. I think that it was the sun or something like that. Uh, yes, Sister Tobiah Vickers. Tobia. Am I saying it right, Tobiah? Well, I think I'm saying it right. Listen, happy Sabbath. It's a wonderful day here in South Florida. It's 91 degrees, 90 degrees or something like that. How you doing, Canson? Shalom. I see the Reynolds family, Canson, Tobiah, Vickers. Let me say, um, she said, yes, I'm saying the name right. Great. Today at 1 o'clock, we're going to be bringing the 1 o'clock message live. The message is going to be completing the Day of Atonement. It's a very important lesson because I've done 3 lessons on the Day of Atonement. The one we did last week, I'm going to be reposting it. It always goes through an editing phase, so it's going to be redone. But let me just say this. This week will be the final lesson on that. And Kansas City's in the front room with his mom. Hello, how are you all? So we're going to be completing this lesson. This lesson is going to connect the Messiah right to the atonement. And that's what's important. Because a lot of people don't observe the feast days because they don't see the Messiah in it. Once we show you the Messiah in it, you'll see the connection. The Messiah is in every feast day. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring that connection. We're going to connect the dots. Last week we talked about the fullness of the story, how the Messiah was the Passover from the foundation of the world, and how everything was created for man to have a decision, but the plan of salvation of how to become spirit, when the Father, the kingdom is given to the Father, we talked about that and how the feast days are related to that. This week, we're going to be going into the Feast of Tabernacles, and the Feast of Tabernacles is for 7 days. It's basically where the children of Israel dwelt in booths in a temporary structure. The analogy of that is that this body is in a temporary structure until it becomes spirit. And if you're not in the first resurrection, which we hope to be, because if you're in the first resurrection, your plan to salvation has been acquired because you became spirit. And that is at the beginning of the millennium. But those that continue to live on earth and what have you, there's going to be the great white throne judgment after the 1,000 years. This is after the binding of Satan. That's when all flesh must become spirit. And that's why we're only in this temporary structure for 7 days or 7,000 years. So there's a chronological order of the feast days that kind of help you see the irony of them all. Why do you start off with the Feast of Unleavened Bread? Why or the Passover first, then the unleavened bread? Why does that lead up to Pentecost, trumpets, atonement, tabernacles, and so forth? So that's what we're going to be covering in these feasts, okay? But today is Day of Atonement. So it's going to be at 1 o'clock p.m. We normally start right on time, but just tune in. You'll be able to see it. If we're a minute or two early, We could be a minute or two late. So just tune in about that time. And so we will give you this lesson in its entirety. I know last week it was very good. I felt the comments and the feedback from the brothers and sisters here that they were very well educated, because a lot of people didn't know that Lucifer, before man was made, the war in heaven with Lucifer, and how that had a play in everything. So we covered that last week. That lesson has not been posted back up. It's going to be edited, and then it's going to be posted back up. Once it's posted back up, then you'll have that lesson. But we're going to call it a series. So you'll see Atonement Series 1, Series 2, Series 3. I encourage you to look at those. I try to keep them within an hour, hour and a half, so that it doesn't wear out on your time. But it's important that you understand this, so that when you are looking at the lesson, you can understand the feast days to its fullest. So just wanted to leave that with you. Just wanted to say peace, happy Sabbath. And I always want to plug in. You're going to hear me plugging in about the Great Gathering Hebrew Conference that's going to be in Philadelphia, October the 19th and the 20th. Go and get that trailer and text it to people. Those of you that are in the Philadelphia area, New York area, traveling distance, we have a short version and a small version of those. And what you can do is text it to people. That's a way of communicating now. Toby Victor says, I plan on being there. It'll be a pleasure to meet you there also. Also, let me say this. There was a gentleman that I met in Atlanta. He's done a lot of research. He's given me that research. Okay, sorry about last night. Last night we did an interview. That's how we spent our Sabbath, just talking and just chopping it up about these books and what's in them and who are the people of the book. So we did that last night, Brother Benaiah Israel. So that's going to be posted. It's going to be talking about and promoting the conference and some of the material that you can expect to see at this conference. I can tell you, when you walk away and you got the Bible telling you that you are Israel, but when you also have outside books that are documents written by people who work for the government, reported back to the king, reported back to the council that was dealing with the Inquisition, and they call and talk about you as being black Jews like it's common language, like everybody knows it. It's going to really be an eye-opener for you. So we're going to talk more on that as well. So please, shalom. I'm going to go inside the Sabbath service. One of the elders is teaching this morning, so he's a very good teacher. We don't record those, unfortunately, but do catch the message at 1 o'clock p.m. today, Eastern Time. Shalom, bless, happy Sabbath.